Hi guys! Welcome to week 6 of my pregnancy. I know that it's still really early, but I have to say that I feel like this week the clouds have parted just a little bit, and I'm finally ready to be really excited about the life force growing inside my body. I've been cautious up until this point because it just all feels so vulnerable to me. This is all really new, and you hear so many people talking about their experience with miscarriage, so I've just been sort of cautiously optimistic up until this point, but for whatever reason, I've gotten to week 6, and every day that goes by and I'm still pregnant feels like a really good sign to me, and suddenly I'm able to be excited about the baby that I may have one day. So a couple things to talk about this week. The first is that I have some new symptoms, and while I talk about symptoms, I'll also mention some diabetes related symptoms. And the second thing I want to talk about today is that I had a doctor's appointment where I was able to see my sweet little blob. Okay, so 6-week symptoms. Here's what's up, basically, in a word. I'm tired. I definitely had fatigue last week as well, but it's increasing, like, a lot. I feel like no amount of sleep I get is enough. For example, I was so exhausted last night that by 9 o'clock I was falling asleep on the couch, so I decided just to go to bed super early, and I was out by 9:30, and I slept for a good solid 9 hours, and this morning, you see me right now, I just feel like going right back to sleep. So, I mean, 9 hours, normally that would be a really awesome night of sleep, but I feel exhausted. A new symptom this week is nausea, at least the beginnings of nausea. Thankfully, it's not terrible, and I haven't even been close to actually vomiting, but I definitely feel sicker. I just feel yucky, just off. The worst time for nausea is the half hour between waking up in the morning and eating breakfast. But so far, as soon as I eat breakfast, I start to feel a lot better. So about that, I'm hoping that it doesn't become too much of a problem and that I'm able to make it that half hour, because for my diabetes, this is important. So the way my shots work, so I wake up in the morning and I take my breakfast injection of insulin to cover breakfast, but I time it 30 minutes before I eat, so that way when I'm eating, the insulin has just started to work, and that reduces any spikes that I would have after breakfast. If you eat too soon before your insulin starts working, your blood sugar will spike due to the food before the insulin even starts working. So it's important that I wait that half hour, because then that timing solves any post-breakfast blood sugar spikes. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll let you know. I'm hoping that I'm able to keep that, because like I said, it's really important to reduce the blood sugar spikes, to wait that half hour before eating. So on to diabetes related symptoms at week 6, and again, like I mentioned last week, it's low blood sugars, and I want to say that I just want to clarify for other type 1s out there, it's not like I'm getting a ton of scary hypos. I'm not. It's more like my blood sugars just seem to be maintaining themselves at a lower level than normal. For instance, 2 hours after I eat a meal, the highest my blood sugar will go is 95, maybe 100, and then an hour later, it's back to the mid-70s or maybe mid-60s, and it kind of just stays there. And I do definitely correct with glucose if my blood sugar is in the 60s or even 70s, because it doesn't feel totally awesome to be in the 60s or 70s. But yeah, my blood sugars seem to like being in that range, and it's a whole lot easier to keep them in that range than it was before I was pregnant. So again, just some encouragement maybe for other type 1s. When you get pregnant, at least in the first trimester so far, it seems like your body really helps you keep normal blood sugars, so that's a good sign. Okay, so on to my doctor's appointment. The most exciting part of that story is that they gave me an ultrasound to confirm the pregnancy. So I actually got to see the little guy or girl blob at this point hanging out in my uterus. The The ultrasound tech measured me at only 5 weeks and 5 days, so it was still too early to see a clear heartbeat. Although the ultrasound tech said that she thought she might be able to see a heartbeat, it just wasn't clear enough. She didn't want to say for sure, so just to be cautious, she said, no, I can't really see the heartbeat. For me, the best thing about getting that quick ultrasound was that all along I've just been a little bit worried that about ectopic pregnancy. I have a family member who recently went through one, so it's fresh in my head, and from the moment I got pregnant I was thinking about it. So just seeing that picture of the ultrasound, and really, like, literally as soon as she got the wand up there and the black blob that is my uterus came into view, boom, like in that black blob I clearly saw that little dot. And that's cool too, just to see. I mean, when it's this early, you don't have a belly, or you don't feel the baby moving. So just to see it there, it really made me feel like, yes, I'm actually pregnant. I'll go ahead and show you guys the picture. You can't see too much, but there it is. Little 5-week, 5-day embryo. So yeah, no cute features yet to look at, but it's pretty cool for me and my husband to see our future baby boy or girl. The other news about the doctor's appointment is that I really didn't like the high-risk clinic, unfortunately, that I went to. It just, from the beginning, it just didn't feel like the place for me for a variety of reasons. And if I did a whole video on that, I mean, it would be pretty long. So just briefly, the two things that bothered me the most is that I found out that their protocol at this high-risk clinic is to induce you at 39 weeks, regardless of your condition, like regardless of blood sugar control throughout pregnancy. If you're a type 1 diabetic, there's really no choice. You get induced at 39 weeks. So this is better than just having an automatic C-section, which they used to do. They just assume if you're diabetic, it's got to be a C-section. So it's better than that. However, my A1C at this point is 5.1, which is normal. If you look at the ranges of A1C, 5.1 is basically a non-diabetic range. It's not even pre-diabetes. So my question was, if I have that sort of control throughout my pregnancy, would I still have to be induced at 39 weeks? And essentially their answer was, yeah, you do. So I really didn't like that, and it's not because I think inductions are bad or that I'm against inductions. I'm absolutely not. And I totally think that medical intervention is necessary some of the time. But what I didn't like is that assumption that every patient is the same, and regardless of your situation, they're just going to do something because for the sake of protocol. That didn't make me feel comfortable. I might end up needing an induction, and that would be fine, but I want a doctor who's willing to make that decision based on a real need in the moment that they see, and not just because on a piece of paper it says I have type 1 diabetes, so therefore induce me. I want the chance at least to do it more naturally if I'm able to, and if that's the healthy way forward. And then the other thing that I didn't feel comfortable with in this high-risk clinic was that they essentially take over control of your blood sugar. If you go with them, part of the package deal is that they do everything. So that means they give me a special blood sugar meter. Every time I check my blood sugar, it sends it straight to them, and they tell me what to eat, what kind of insulin to give myself, when and how much. And that, again, that's not bad. That's a really great idea. It's a great service for some people, but I've been working for a long time before getting pregnant to get my blood sugars in a normal range, and I have an amazing endocrinologist who's helped me get there. And so why change something that's working so well? I mean, the first thing the doctor said when he walked into the room, he said, your A1C is 5.1, that's better than mine. And he's not diabetic. And so the point is, if what I'm doing is working well, it's what I'm comfortable with, it's a routine I've been doing for years now, and I know how to do it, why not stick with it? So yeah, I just didn't feel comfortable relinquishing all of my control with my blood sugars. I wanted to be able to keep doing it the way I know how to do it. So that being said, Luckily, I found another OB-GYN clinic that came highly recommended, particularly one doctor. I ended up talking to this labor and delivery nurse, and she knew all the doctors, and I kind of told her what I was interested in, and she's like, "Oh, you should go with Dr. So-and-so because that doctor is really into a more natural approach, and she works with her patients, and you know, if you're healthy and able to to do things naturally. She's all about that. So I was like, great. So essentially, I've made an appointment with this other clinic, and their protocol is to see patients at about 12 weeks. So I have another appointment when I turn 12 weeks. It's not for a while, but I'll definitely update you when that time comes. So for now, that's week 6. Just to summarize, I'm really tired and I've started to feel nauseous, but I'm keeping it under control, so it hasn't gotten terrible yet, but yeah, I just feel icky. But all of those icky feelings make me feel really good at the same time because it means that my pregnancy at this point is progressing in a healthy way, and it leaves me feeling really excited about the pregnancy, about seeing my belly grow. I'm really excited to have a belly and especially to feel the baby moving. That's going to be incredible, kind of like a dream come true for me. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great day and a great week, and I will see you next week for my 7-week update. Bye!